Why did people imagine so many strange creatures? A long, long time ago, people didn't have books or the internet to help them understand their world. They told stories, often about animals. These stories helped people understand their world. Sometimes the animals in stories were different than in real life. People imagined strange creatures that weren't real. We call them mythical creatures. The ancient Greeks, for example, imagined the Hydra. It killed people. It was like a giant water snake with many heads. If you cut one head off, two came back in its place. The Aztecs in Mexico believed in a mythical creature, a snake with feathers that lived in the sky. It was a symbol of new life. Real animals can be symbols, too. People are afraid of snakes because they're dangerous. So adults often tell children stories about snakes. In the stories, snakes are a symbol of bad things, things that adults want children to be afraid of. In some places, people think some birds are symbols of bad luck. Tortoises in China are good luck. Black cats are bad luck in some places and good luck in others. Why? Maybe because people tell different stories in different places. Strange creatures like us. In 1924, a man called Albert Ostman is on vacation in a forest in Canada. One night, he wakes up in his sleeping bag. He can't get out. Somebody's carrying him. After 2 hours, they stop. Albert looks out of the bag. He sees a family, father, mother, boy, and girl. They are very tall and hairy, different from normal people. They do nothing bad to Albert, but he can't leave for days. At last, when they aren't looking, he runs. Is Albert's story true? Maybe not. Or maybe he really saw a family of Bigfoot. Albert only told his story 30 years later when he heard other stories like it. Many people today say they saw a Bigfoot. But nobody caught one to show to other people. They say a Bigfoot is very tall, 2 or 3 meters. It has a lot of hair on its body. In the west of the USA, there were other stories of wild men with long hair on their bodies. Stiyaha were wild men that came at night and took children. Skookums were cannibals, they ate other people. And there were other wild men that only took people's fish. Today, all these American wild men are called Bigfoot. There are stories of wild men in many countries. In the Himalayas, they say there's a creature called the Yeti, or the wild man of the snows. Some people say they saw one, but other people think it was only a bear. 50 years ago, many people in the Himalayas believed in Yetis, but not now. But today, some people visit the Himalayas to try to find one. In Japan, there are stories of a creature like a short man, called the Hibagon. It has black hair on its body, but white hands and feet. Why do people in very different places believe in the same kind of wild men? Maybe it's because there are animals that are like people. For example, there are bears in the mountains of North America and the Himalayas. And in Borneo, there is the orangutan. This animal is sometimes called the old man of the forest. And gorillas in Africa are like big people with a lot of hair. So maybe orangutans and other animals are behind the stories of wild men. Monsters and mermaids. There are lots of stories about strange sea creatures. Hundreds of years ago, people didn't know much about the world. They made maps of the parts they knew. But on their maps, there were white, empty places. On those places, they wrote, "Here, there are monsters." People looked at the maps and said, "Monsters? It must be true. It's on the map, but not everything on a map or in a book is true." Sailors always liked to tell people interesting stories when they got home from the sea. Often, the stories weren't true, but sometimes, sailors really saw strange things and didn't understand them. Then their stories were half true. Sailors told stories about mermaids and people believed them. We all know mermaids from books and movies. Mermaids are half woman, half fish. Today, we know mermaids aren't real. The sailors saw sea animals called manatees and thought they were mermaids. There are stories about mermaids in many different countries. One of the most famous is Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid. She wants to be a woman with legs because she loves a man. A long time ago, sailors from Norway told stories of krakens. Krakens were giant sea monsters with many arms. The sailors said krakens could eat men and even fight big boats. Today, we think krakens were really giant squids. These animals usually live at the bottom of the sea, but they sometimes come up. Whales eat them. There are pictures of this on the internet. So giant squids fight whales. When they see a big boat, they can think it's a whale, and fight it. Some people today believe there's a real water monster, the Loch Ness Monster, or Nessie. The story began in 1933. Two people from London, Mr. and Mrs. Spicer, visited Loch Ness, a lake in Scotland. They said they saw the monster. After that, a lot of people came. Some wanted to kill the monster. Some took pictures. You can see one here. Is it really a monster? Today, some people believe Nessie is real, maybe a kind of dinosaur. Others don't. What do you think? Dragons, mythical creatures or real dinosaurs? Dragon stories began in different places. The first came from China and Europe. But Chinese and European dragons were very different. In Europe, ancient dragons were like snakes with wings. But a few hundred years ago, people started to imagine them with legs. European dragons usually did bad things, like kill people, because kings wanted their people to be afraid of them. They used dragons as their symbol. The national symbol of Wales is a red dragon. People love stories about dragons. In many of these stories, people kill bad dragons. Beowulf is an English story from 1,000 years ago. In the story, Beowulf wants a dragon's gold. He and his men fight the dragon. Beowulf kills it, but then he dies. The Hobbit is a story from 1937. It also has a dragon, and the dragon also has gold. Bilbo, the Hobbit, takes a gold cup from the dragon. It gets angry and tries to kill people in the town. Like Beowulf, someone kills the dragon to take its gold. The Chinese told stories about dragons a long time ago, 7,000 years. But in China, dragons were good luck. The Chinese believed dragons helped people and could change the weather. Some stories say dragons taught people to talk, like kings in Europe. The most important men in China used dragons as their symbol. A story says that the first kings of China were from a dragon family. In the 1970s, many Chinese people began to say they were children of the dragon. For the Chinese New Year, people make paper dragons and do a dragon dance in the streets. They love dragons. Why did people tell dragon stories? Maybe ancient people just enjoyed telling stories to make their children afraid. Or maybe they found giant dinosaur bones and thought they were from dragons. They didn't know dinosaurs died long ago. So maybe they thought dragons were real animals. There are animals that are a little like dragons. They're called monitor lizards. Monitor lizards are usually big. The Komodo dragon from Indonesia, for example, can be 3 meters long. They bite, fight, and eat other animals, sometimes farm animals. Maybe farmers told stories about them, and, over time, these became dragon stories. What do you think? Are there really strange creatures like the ones in this book? Bigfoot, Yetis, mermaids, krakens, the Loch Ness Monster, dragons. Do you believe they lived, or live, in our world? Do you believe in other strange creatures, like the chupacabra? For example, in 1995, the story of the chupacabra began in Puerto Rico. 8 sheep died. People said that something drank their blood and killed them. Then more animals died in other places. One woman said she had the answer. She saw a strange creature and told people what it looked like. Did it drink the animal's blood? What do you think? Are there really chupacabras? Some animals drink blood, for example, the vampire bat, but not all the blood in a sheep. Many people studied the chupacabra story. One man said the woman's strange creature was from a movie she saw, called Species. Her story was the same as the movie. Scientists said the creatures were sick wild dogs with little or no hair, but now there are chupacabra stories in the USA, Russia, and other places. Are they all wrong? Do you have stories of strange creatures in your country? What are they? Do you believe them? Why or why not? Maybe all the stories in this book are true. The world can be a strange place. Time, a lion was going on a journey. On the way, he found a pot of honey. This looks good to eat, the lion thought. I'll take it with me. So he picked up the honey and tried to carry it. A monkey saw him. She liked honey. Hello, lion, she called out. What are you carrying? My honey, the lion answered. It's difficult for you, said the monkey. You don't have any hands. I have an idea. Let me ride on your back, and give the honey to me. I will hold it for you. The lion was happy. That is a good idea, he said. Jump on my back, monkey, and hold the honey for me. But don't eat any of it. If you do, I will be very angry. And the lion opened his mouth, and showed the monkey his long teeth. The monkey climbed onto the lion's back, and the lion walked on. The monkey looked at the honey in her hands. It looked delicious. It smelled good. She put her finger into the pot, and licked it. The honey tasted wonderful. She put her finger into the honey again. What are you doing? Asked the lion. Are you eating my honey? Oh no, no, said the monkey. I am holding it very carefully. The monkey took her finger out of the honey. A drop fell on the lion's head. The lion stopped walking. What was that? He said. Was that my honey? Are you eating it? No, oh no, said the monkey. It was a tear. I am crying. and my tears fell on your head, your tears. Why are you crying? Asked the lion. Are you sad? Yes, said the monkey. I'm very sad, because my mother is dead, your mother. When did she die? Many years ago. Then don't be sad, monkey. Don't cry. All animals must die. You and I will die one day, and the lion walked on. Soon, the monkey finished all the honey. The pot was empty now. The monkey was worried. The lion will be angry, she thought. Lion, she called out. I must go now. My relatives live near here. Take your honey. She jumped off the lion's back and threw the pot at him. Then she began to run away. The lion looked at his pot. It was empty. You have eaten all my honey, he roared. Come here, you thief. I will punish you. The monkey jumped up into a tree. The lion jumped up too. He caught her tail in his mouth and bit it off. But he couldn't catch the monkey. She ran away from him, into the forest. The monkey was angry with the lion now. My poor tail, she thought. I have lost my beautiful tail. She looked down at the ground. The lion was still there. He was watching her. She jumped into another tree. The lion followed her. I'll catch you, you wicked monkey, roared the lion. I will find you easily. You are the monkey with no tail, thought the monkey. The lion is right. It will be easy for him to find me, because I have no tail. She ran on, through the trees. I must find my family, she thought. Soon, she came to a big group of her relatives. They were sitting in the trees, eating fruit. What happened to you? They all said. Where is your tail? My tail? The monkey said. I cut it off. It was a long, ugly thing. It was always dirty. It's much better without a tail. Look at me. I'm beautiful now. I'm very happy without my tail. It's true, all the other monkeys said. Tails are long and ugly. You are beautiful now. Cut off our tails, too. So the monkey cut the tails off all her relatives. Just then, they heard a roaring noise in the forest. They were frightened. The lion is coming, they said. The lion came out of the trees. He stood on a hill, and he called to the monkeys. Monkeys! Listen to me, he called out. I am looking for a monkey who has no tail. Where is she? Give her to me. If you don't, I will chase you and eat you all. A monkey with no tail, all the monkeys said. But we have all cut off our tails. There are no tails here. The lion was very angry. The monkey has tricked me, he thought. Come down from the trees, he called out to the monkeys. I will find the one who ate my honey. The monkeys were frightened of the lion. They came down from the trees and sat on the ground. Walk in front of me, one by one, the lion said. The first monkey walked in front of the lion. Open your mouth, he said. Vomit up the food from your stomach. The monkey opened her mouth, and vomited up her food. There were only seeds in her stomach. The next monkey walked in front of the lion. She vomited up her food, too. There were only fruit in her stomach. All the monkeys walked in front of the lion. None of them had any honey in their stomachs. At last, the first monkey stood in front of the lion. Vomit up your food, he said. She vomited up her food, and the honey came out of her mouth. "Aha," said the lion. "You are the thief." The monkey was very frightened. "Oh, please, please, dear lion," she said. "It's true. I ate your honey, but I'm very sorry. I'll never do it again." "No," said the lion. "You will not do it again, because now I'm going to punish you. I'm going to make a big fire and burn you in it." He caught the monkey and carried her under his arm. He went out of the forest to a big field. There was straw in the field. He picked up the straw, and put it on top of the monkey. "Stay here," he said. "I'm going to look for fire," and he went away to find fire. At once, the monkey ran out from under the straw. There was a tree above her head. She climbed up the tree, and hid in it. The tree was full of fruits. The monkey picked the fruits, and threw them down onto the straw. Then she sat in the tree and waited. Soon, the lion came back. He was carrying a burning stick. He touched the straw with his stick. At once, it began to burn. "You foolish monkey. I'm punishing you now," cried the lion. "You'll never steal my honey again." The fire grew hotter and hotter. The fruit on the straw began to cook. Suddenly, one fruit exploded with a loud noise. "That was the monkey's eye," the lion said. He was very happy. Bang! Another fruit exploded. "That was the monkey's other eye," cried the lion. Bang! Bang! Two more fruits exploded. "Those were the monkey's heart and her stomach," roared the lion. The monkey was watching the lion from the tree. She was laughing and laughing. The lion heard her. He looked up, and saw her. "What?" he cried. "Is that you? What are you doing there? You were in the fire. I heard your eyes and your heart and your stomach. They were exploding in the heat." "I was in the fire," the monkey said, "but now I'm up here, in the tree." "How did you get there?" said the lion. "I don't understand." "It was easy," the monkey answered. "You set fire to the straw, and the smoke rose up. The smoke lifted me, and it carried me up here, into the tree." "Is that true?" "I didn't know smoke could carry people," said the lion. The monkey laughed again. "Didn't know. But you are the lion, the greatest, the cleverest, the strongest of all the animals," she said. "I'm only a poor little monkey, but even I know about riding on the smoke." "Of course I know about riding on the smoke," roared the lion. "Do you think, you stupid monkey, that you are cleverer than me? Watch me. I'm going to ride on the smoke too. The smoke will carry me up into the tree, and then I'll catch you. And you won't run away from me again." So the lion jumped into the fire. But the smoke didn't carry him up into the tree. The fire burned him and he died. The monkey was happy. "My enemy is dead," she said. She came down from the tree, and went to find her relatives in the forest.